Jason Rigby, ABQ Business Podcast. What is up, guys? Today, we're going to talk about another leadership concept. Once again, I'm going to bring up Echelon Front. If you guys haven't heard of it, go to www.echelonfront.com. This isn't a commercial for them. I just love the material that they put out, their Extreme Ownership book. If you haven't read that, grab it. Go grab it on Amazon right now. You can grab it on eBay. You can get it used for as little as $5 on there with free shipping. Goodwill's on eBay. If you guys, that's a little hint for you guys. If you're looking at books and you're short of cash and you don't want to get a new one or pay $20, $25, you can go to eBay. You can even put it under books. You can put very good like new. And Goodwill and a lot of these organizations sell books on eBay. And they have free shipping. It's book rate, so it'll take you like a week or two to get. But you can get that book for as little as $4.99, $5.99 around there. So I encourage you to do that. It's awesome. If you get acceptable or good, because I buy a lot of books through there, because I buy so many, probably 5 to 10 a week books. I'm just constantly reviewing and looking at books. I don't read that many a week. I wish. I need to step up my game on the reading side of things. I do enjoy reading on the Kindle, though. And I enjoy, believe it or not, with the endless scroll they have now on Kindle on the phone, it makes it so simple. If you're standing in line, if you're waiting for something, if you're on the phone, I just I put it right in the front. I have my Kindle app. I just click on it, and then you can just scroll. It's really, really cool. It just endless scrolls up. And you can just read and read and read. It's awesome. I encourage you guys to do that. We all know that leaders are readers. We've heard that since we were little kids. So I'm not going to get into that. But I want to get into, and they talked about this, Leif Babin wrote this. It's leading up the chain of command. I want us to think about how we see our bosses, those that, and most of all of us, unless we are at the top of the pinnacle, even if you're a CEO, you have shareholders that you're responsible to. You have a board that you're responsible to. So it's not, there's always somebody higher up that we have to be responsible to. So I think this is applicable to everybody. A lot of middle managers have this where they're getting hit by 2 or 3 different bosses. Well, how do you handle your boss without getting pissed off, without getting upset, without, I talked to a leader the other day and they were crying because their boss was so horrible. And we've seen the Horrible Bosses movies. Those are great. But I want to talk how to lead up. John Maxwell has a book on this too, so I encourage you to grab that. But how do you lead up? And when we think of the chain of command, and Leif Babin's using this because he was a Navy SEAL, and I understand this, I was in the Marine Corps. Leading up the chain of command, you have to look at vision first. And everything we do as a leader, that's the number one thing, is vision. The best thing that you can do is develop a relationship with your boss so that you understand, I'm saying this slowly on personal, I want you guys to get this right now, so that you understand his vision for you, for the organization, the macro and the micro. You need to have lunches with him or do whatever it takes. You say, well, he's just not that open, or he'll yell, or he won't. If you ask and engage questions about vision, he'll be more than happy to share that with you. And it may take time. Maybe it takes a couple months before he opens up about it, but you can ask him. And don't make it narcissistic where it's about you. Make it about him. That's servant leadership. Make it about him. Make it about the company, the vision of the company. What does he see success as? What is his vision for your role, for his role, for the organization? I guarantee you it's going to be different than yours. And this is a problem. A lot of leaders will step into a position and then they reframe that position to do what they want to do to accomplish the goal that they want to accomplish. That goal could be 180 degrees out from what your boss wants. He's leaving you alone because you're getting things done. He probably doesn't want to have to deal with the drama. He may have 10 of you that he has to deal with. But it's not exactly what he feels. And if he's an okay leader, not a great leader, he's probably not coaching you. He's probably not sitting you down and guiding you in the direction, that he feels that the organization should go and what his vision is. So it's your responsibility to lead up. Ask. Because it is you who are going to push information up the chain. You're going to accomplish work with that team that's underneath you, and then you're going to push that information up the chain. You're going to have to prioritize what's important. Is it important to you or to your boss's vision or to the vision of the organization? That's why it's so important. You talk to the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, the CTO, talk to them all. See what the vision is. See if you can get some commonality there, not just the CEO. When you start seeing like this little red thread of truth that runs through each and every one of them, that's what you need to focus on. That's the information that you should be bringing up the chain. That's what you should be prioritizing on executing on, not what you think. You have to influence them, and the best way that you can influence them is by being strategic and accomplishing and executing exactly what they want for the betterment of the company. If you want training and you want resources and you want extra funding, you've got to establish trust. And in that trust, you will begin to solve problems. And when you begin to solve problems, the mission wins every time. And you will earn trust. And when you ask for something, they trust you enough. That's the ultimate thing of trust for me for business, is if somebody's willing to open up their pocketbook. And in sales, you need to understand that. It's a trust issue. If they're not willing to open up their pocketbook to you, it's a trust issue. And Leif Babin talks about this. He said, at Ashland Front, one of the chief complaints we hear from leaders we work with is about their boss. We hear things like, my boss is terrible. My boss won't make a decision. My boss wants all the credit. My boss won't listen to me. And Leif Babin says, but whether you have a terrible boss, a mediocre boss, or even a great boss, your goal should be to build the best relationship possible with them all. So I want to get in how you can take extreme ownership of building a better relationship. Since this is the number one thing you can do for leading up, let's define this so that you can execute on this, guys. Number one, he says, stop blaming the boss. And instead, blame yourself. This is 100% responsibility, 100% ownership here. Don't point fingers up the chain of command. Instead, take extreme ownership. If your boss struggles with getting things done, then help the boss to prioritize and execute. And see what you can do to take it off the boss's plate. If your boss won't make a decision, then present your boss with well thought out plans, including detailed steps to mitigate the risks the boss is concerned about. If your boss wants all the credit, put your own ego in check and give them the credit. This is the success to President Ronald Reagan. I have it sitting right here. He says, I know I became successful when I was willing to not take any credit and give it to others. When I have a meeting and I'm talking to somebody and something went really well, I always give the credit to the team. They're the ones that did the damn work. What does our ego think that we need the credit? Never take credit for anything. Dish it off to everybody else. You know what that does in turn? One, it's truthful. Number two, it makes you the most valuable person in the organization. Leif Babin says, if your boss won't listen to you, then start listening to the boss and allow yourself to be influenced by them, which will in turn allow the boss to listen and be influenced by you. And I love this, and this goes right and hits right into our ego, guys. This just nails us. You should strive to build the same relationship with any boss that you work for, whether they are good, bad, or somewhere in the middle. You want them to trust you, give you what you need to accomplish your mission, and then get out of your way so you can do your job, right? That's what we want. Let me say this again. You want them to trust you. You want them to give you what you need to accomplish the mission. And number three, you want them to get out of your way so you can do the job. This is why it's so important to lead up by building the relationship and you taking ownership for that. You can't control the boss, but you can control you. And if you work on building that better relationship with your boss, and you work hard to do so, I guarantee you're going to see improvement. The moment that you stop blaming the boss and start blaming yourself for not building a better relationship is the moment you begin to solve the problem. And that's with everything. The moment you take responsibility instead of playing the blame game, and you take responsibility for it, and you rack your brain, which is amazing, and you know that, you wouldn't be a leader. You wouldn't be where you're at if you weren't part of the 10%. So use your freaking brain and make that decision to solve this problem. I am going to commit 100% that I am going to solve this problem. Once you begin to take ownership, guess what? Then you can begin to lead up the chain. Make recommendations to improve the process towards their vision. Make things more efficient. And if he won't listen to you, find out why. And I guarantee it's because if your boss doesn't listen to you, it's you don't have a relationship with him. You've put a label on him saying he's egotistical, he's an asshole, he's this, he's that. I don't respect him. Why are you allowing his deficiencies or efficiencies to influence you and the decisions that you need to make? It is just as important as you leading your team, leading down, to lead up. Because guess what happens? You want friction because you don't have a relationship? You know what needs to happen? You need to lead up. Some of you are stuck right now, and you've been in a mediocre leadership position because of this. Examine where you can lead up. Where can you build more effective relationships with those senior leaders around you? Focus, I'm telling you guys, focus on really listening. Treat them with respect. Allow them to influence you towards the goal that they want to accomplish. And give them trust. You say, well, I can't, Jason, I can't trust this person. Give them trust. What do you think they're going to do? Backstab you and take the credit? Okay, give them the credit. They know deep down that you're valuable and that you accomplished that. They know that. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to lean on you and you become valuable to them. Who cares if they take all the credit? Who cares if you make them look good? You know what's going to happen? They're going to take you, if they look good and do better, they're going to make sure that you're there every moment of the day right there. If they decide to go at another organization, who are they going to recommend for their position? If they decide to retire, who are they going to recommend for their position? You. And you know what? Worst case scenario is you can't work with them, go somewhere else. You're still going to have to lead up. No matter what organization you're in, you're going to have to lead up. Unless you're like a solopreneur and you have an online business, you're still answering to your customers. I mean, you can't get around this. It's our responsibility to understand leadership. It's our responsibility to take ownership. And it's our responsibility to change those lives that are around us, to influence those for the better. That's what helping humanity is all about, guys. And it's not just helping those that we serve below us, but those that we serve above us. And I encourage each and every one, take the motivation to take some time. Go to a coffee shop. What inspires you? Is it being alone? Is it, I used to go to the coast when I lived in Washington State. I would go to the coast in the winter stormy times and rent a hotel with a big window. They were inexpensive then too, because no one went to the beach then because it's freezing cold and storms. And I loved looking out at the ocean and at being stormy. For some reason, my mind is ultra creative. And I would take the time and be creative and sit there for 2 days and just write and develop a game plan. Whether you need to be alone like that and go somewhere, rent an Airbnb. Tell your family, I'm going to be gone for a day or 2 days. Get a fresh start. Maybe you need to go. Some people love to go on a drive. Just go on a drive and think about it and take notes. You can use your phone and talk into them. Whatever you need to do Make the decision to take ownership and lead up.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.